every once in a while, and it's very, very infrequent, but an anime will come along. And this anime will come along and it really, really wants to hurt you. It wants to make you cry. It wants to get really personal with you. It wants to drag you down to the darkest, deepest, buried traumas. It wants to smack you right round the face with those traumas. And it wants to lure you in with a beautifully crafted world full of attachable characters. And then it wants to lock the door, ensuring you can't leave and turn your back on the anime. This, my friends, is that anime. Alongside Fruits Basket, which is also airing on the same day, which means it's a very bad day for us and our tissue boxes because we're going to run out very quickly. It's a really rough day. Hello and welcome to Clockwork Daddy Noodles. In case you have been following me and you've been wondering where I am, where have I have been suffering with laryngitis. I have been out of commission for an entire week. So I am back slowly picking up my backlog. So this video is about 2 days late. I am sorry, guys. Please bear with me as I do sound a little bit rough still. But thank you so much for tuning in. These breakdowns are going to be a little different from my main collection of breakdowns, and I'll explain why in a moment. Make sure you are subscribed so you get all notifications whenever videos go up. At the moment we'll be all over the shop because I'm very badly behind, so there's going to be videos going up all over the place, so making sure you are subscribed will ensure you don't miss an episode or something. Also, there is a Discord channel for you guys to go ahead, give a like, and you will then get notified whenever things go up and you can see physically all the videos that go up. Hello, welcome. Let's get to it because there's so much going on here. And this is the breakdown. First things first, let's get it out the way. The voice actor, our narrator. Yes, it's Kenjiro Tsudas, as most of us like to call him. I am a massive fan of this beautiful voice actor. Fantastic voice actor. You may recognize him as Ogata from Golden Kamuy, Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen. We've got Overhaul from My Hero Academia and much, much more. More recently, there was The Way of the House Husband. He is Tatsu. Yes, indeed. He is a beautiful voice and a fantastic choice for an anime such as this. Anime which is harsh. Often enough, his voice is recommended to the more dark side. He often plays a dark character, bad characters, villains. It kind of suits him. He's got a very gravelly voice, as I do right now as well. But it really works for an anime like this, and I think it pairs very beautifully. He is playing our narration role, and it's actually very important to have a narrator at this point because the story needs him. Whether he is a god, we're not sure yet. We haven't got a clear message on him as a role. Right now, we will be calling him the narrator. He does have a proper name, but for now, he is the narrator. Our beautiful gravelly voice, our very slow build, our beautiful building of strings and flute. I will be talking a lot about music during this breakdown. Thankfully, I did for a little bit study music. I was studying up to grade 4 when it came to vocals. I really wanted to pass my singing exams and stuff. But I've got enough to talk us through what's going on roughly to understand why the music is very important to this anime. Our orchestra starts to grow as our rock becomes the wolf. Our first steps on our journey as we are following this orb as it experiences the world. It experiences the ups, the downs. Quick credit to Takashi Takadira. Our sound score is so beautiful. It is carried so gorgeously. There's so many nice moments where he's doing something very subtle that carries the emotional impact that we are building to. Yes, I went into this 2 days late and I saw everybody else's breakdowns, literally breakdowns. People were crying over this one. I did cry, but I will tell you what bit got me. So I did actually last longer than I thought I would. The sound score is super important in carrying the initial moments where a rock cannot talk to us. So we need the sound score to start building the feel of the world, the visuals around us, the harshness. As our wolf starts to learn to walk, the use of the cello as well. Cello is my favourite instrument. It is a beautiful, rich, deep sound, often used to convey a sadness, a more complex sound. Love it. I absolutely love it to pieces, guys. Cannot express how much I love cello. I wish I could play the cello. But it carries us to the title screen. I do like the title and I like the way it's actually fonted. But we get a peaceful lack of music, which starts to sober us up. So there's moments when there's music, and then there's moments when there's not. And the way that the music builds at times, then suddenly hits a silence. That is all used for impact. The main point of this first episode is to make you cry. It wants to invest you. It wants to show you that there is the harshness of life, that life is harsh. And it's doing that very, very cleverly, and it's quite subtle at times. But because I could see everybody else's reactions, I decided to go through this with a slight inkling that obviously I expect this is going to happen. I was fully aware we had a death coming our way. So I was like, how are they building to this death? What are they doing to make a character who we don't even know his name? We don't even know the character's name. How do they make that death impactful? When we meet our character, we gain a name for the wolf. Then the wolf gets a name. His name is Johan, I believe. And I'm going to call him Wolf. I know he's technically an orb and he's a duplicate of the wolf, but this boy's wolf initially was Johan, and Johan comes back as a different wolf. Quite sad to know that his wolf would have technically died out there in the wilderness and he would never have known, a bit like everything else in his life as well. It's a very tragic story, but we're setting it up so beautifully. We start to learn the world through the orb's eyes. So we, as an audience, don't know much about the world we've been thrown into, but we experience it via the wolf, via the orb, via its experiences on the world as well. Because we've got very minuscule information given. The visuals around us tell us how harsh nature is. We're thrown into quite a harsh background out there as well. The snow is whistling by and it feels quite cold and it feels never ending. It feels never ending. It feels like it's relentless. The kind of the way this ice is. There's no like break in the ice. There's no real give in the weather. We get a cut in the music now to give us just the sound of the fire crackling as we see our wolf taking in all those visuals, all those stimulation that goes on around him as he picks up on it. It's a very beautiful moment. Hearing a fire crackling as well. Beautiful sounds. And there's a reason why people use it. Sounds that you can use to go to bed with. They're very, very nice sound to hear. ASMR. There we go. Very good ASMR. Our good boy. Of course, we're following a good boy. It makes it even better that we're following a good boy. But whenever it comes to media or anime and there's a dog involved, I always end up caring more about the dog than the human. That also plays into why this has an impact on me as well. There's a plane crash. Oh my God, is the dog alive? Zombies. Where's the dog? Volcano. Doggo. It's always the dog. The dog is our kind of link. So having no name for our boy doesn't really matter, but seeing him caring for this dog, it also helps us attach and start liking him because he loves the dog. He loves this nature. The way you treat your animal often shows you what kind of person you are. Fully believe it. I am getting very strong Golden Kamuy vibes, mainly not just because Ogata is our narrator or anything, because it is that wilderness. We get to see the relentless wilderness living off the land. The boy really gives me that vibe of Asirapa and her people. It really gives me that kind of vibe. The boy is the last of his kind in this very abandoned settlement. And just via him talking to his dog, as you could imagine he would. He's alone. He would probably talk to the dog for comfort. I talk to my rats. I talk to my rabbit. Just because I do. But it doesn't feel too exposition heavy when it happens. But when you think about it, it would kind of be self-explanatory. You would talk to your pet. You would be like, I haven't seen you in 2 months. Let me tell you what's going on. But we do start to see he answers himself. When he starts to answer himself, I've got to start going, it's been 5 years since you've seen people. Either you're going slightly crazy, and again, not always a bad thing, and you might be hearing voices, or you are simply just responding because it helps you feel less lonely. It's probably one of the two, and to be fair, as a few times I do answer myself, so I'd probably be exactly the same in this situation. But he tells us that the people left in a belief that there was something better elsewhere, more food elsewhere. We are told that the wolf technically stops him from going. Maybe he feels that it's a bad thing. I mean, it does end quite tragic for everybody involved, but at the same time, even staying, it seems to be there wasn't really any real positive outcome in either situation, staying or going. The violin solo at this point starts to carry the sadness. We get a bit of flute as well, where we get some visuals of the old empty chairs with snow on them, as nobody sits there anymore. They're all gone. The old folk have left. So we really do feel his plea when he believes that somebody is home. We really do feel how excited he gets when he goes, welcome home, and there's nobody there. That silence. So the music builds and then it drops us in that cold emptiness that is just, the reality is there's no one coming for him. He is alone. Johan starts to learn to eat in a very beautiful moment. This moment is gorgeous. I think he tried to speak, definitely tried to speak. That wolf tried to speak, but beautiful moment as he tries to mirror him and he teaches him how to eat. The audience and Johan learn about this boy's family life as he starts to show us via his art. It really kind of reminded me of cave paintings where they would record their daily lives on the walls, including the old hairy guy from across the street. I love it to pieces. All little things like that which start to build your relation to this guy. And then we get I Don't Want to Forget. The VA at this point is leading our plot. Because we actually have vocals at this point, the music takes a bit more of a backstreet role, but it is there when it's needed. It's very important that it picks up when the vocals are no longer possible, when he's trying to walk through the ice and he can't talk to us. We are drawn more and more into liking this character, as he is simply just a boy who is nurturing his wolf, remembering the people who once were before him. We get a montage sequence which is backed by the introduction to some drums. The drums start kicking when things really get going. Really nice little moment to show you that the pace is rising, the tempo is picking up. We go to a major key showing us that things are hopeful. This boy is feeling hopeful. We're going to venture into the unknown. It's exciting. It feels positive, even though it's probably, as we know, ends very, very badly, but it still feels positive. The piano picks up, our excitement also begins, as we also long for this lonely boy to finally find people, to find somebody out there. Hope starts to rise as we pick up a trail, and we start to get a sunset, which is a bit foreshadowing. Because sunsets are a close of a chapter, they often signify the end of something. And of course, me knowing what's coming up, I kind of picked up on it, but I had a few visual kind of keys that I picked up because I knew what was going to happen. Our story time over food when he talks to the wolf and he eats. It just brings us more information about the boy, about what he likes. He doesn't know what fruit is. And then we get yet another montage of the passage of time. We don't want to obviously sit through this, so the passage of time, rinse repeats, having those drums play, just shows us that it's taking a bit of time to get where we go. This is a long journey. But then the turn starts to begin. And I picked up on it a little bit quicker than I think the initial people might have picked up on it. The first thing that something might have been wrong was actually seeing the frostbite on his fingers. So when he sits by the fire and he's got those really red raw fingers, something started to feel a little bit wrong because he clearly was unprepared for this journey. His fingers did not look like they should if he was taking precautions or if he was really prepared to go out into the ice. The initial fall through the ice, that moment, that's the moment where you kind of know it's kind of no going back. The music essentially cuts. We have no sound. We just get to hear the harsh sound of nature, the wind, how unforgiving nature really is. And then we see the wound to the leg. It's a bit ironic because Johan, the original wolf, he also died because of a wound to the leg. It's quite sad that the owner and the wolf end up going out with the same kind of wound. The music starts to pick up with the use of strings and the wind ends up being worse. And the boy starts to struggle onwards. Perhaps through infection, perhaps it's swelling to the leg as well. He's not taking any medication. He's also showing some signs of hypothermia, which would have come from the fall in the ice cold water. The leg wound as well starts to swell up, which means it's infected. Normally in this case, we would simply get antibiotics. He hasn't got that opportunity and he's just wrapping it. And when it starts to bulge, and I was like, maybe he's putting in a cushion or something. No, he's definitely got swelling. The cello starts to play the main motif. Cellos always convey sadness so well. They sound so beautiful and they show depth in their sound. As he starts to talk to Johan, we start to see the state of mind that he's in, where he's trying to persuade himself to not go back. No, I can't go back. We're not going to go back yet. It's fine. We see him trying to be positive with himself. He's always come across as quite that positive character who's like, it's okay, it's fine. I'll see the positive in everything. But you can tell because obviously he's answering himself. He's definitely got going back on his head. It's there in the back of his mind, eating away at him. Any remaining hope now ends up lost as the trail that we've been following that gave him hope is gone. We see that red cross signaling danger, and this kind of ends any remaining hope that he has. The cello and the strings start to carry our vibe, the song at this point, the story, and the boy ends up completely hopeless. We also perhaps gain an understanding of what became of the missing people that went out searching for a better life. Perhaps they ended up dead. We see the essential graveyard of their wagons. I believe it's the wagons that are cut in the snow. Seeing this as well is painful. It really is painful at this point because everybody he knows and loves is dead. We know that there's no happy ending at this point. It's the first of the teary moments which probably got a few people, where we've got the strings also playing, trying to carry the mood. But it's heartbreaking as we see him really trying to see the positive. He's like, it's okay. They passed through. It just means they passed through. And you can see he's lying to himself. And he's trying to ignore the truth, but his body is telling us, the audience, the truth as he begins to cry. And talk about build and that music once more kicking in as the boy starts to realise that he is alone and he's been talking to himself. But absolute credit to the voice actor here. It is some beautiful, beautiful work when he starts to cry, and I really feel for it. Our voice actor is Reiji Kawashima. He is actually a character who hasn't done a great deal. He is airing currently in Shadow's House, another anime by Clockwork, which is airing this season. Definitely give it a check out. The first episode is up and my god, it's got some creepy vibes. But indeed, he is a character with no backstory. He is a new voice actor to the scene and he's making an impact, guys. Just absolute credit to the voice actor here. He's new to the scene, but he has definitely won me over with his performance as this boy, this unnamed boy. But the cough begins and we start to see him coughing, and the wolf actually looks really heartbroken at this moment. The wolf is so, even though he's a wolf, he looks so animated with those facial expressions. And you almost wish that he could speak so he could tell you what he's thinking and feeling. We make the decision to finally turn back. Was it a correct choice? We'll never know. But through some actual miracle, I'm more surprised by this miracle that he didn't die on the way back. We actually managed to get back to the house. The music starts to swell as the boy starts to break down in tears. He kind of gives up. And it's the climax of a very beautiful motif, now being played in the minor key. Minor key conveying sadness, often played during a death sequence. And in this sense, it is essentially a death sequence. The boy ends up slowly running out of food, but you can see even in his last moments, he cares for his wolf. He makes the wolf food, and he doesn't care about himself. He also clearly at this point has a fever. The cello plays and we get some gorgeous vibrato start to play as he starts to struggle to walk and he becomes more and more desperate. These scenes becoming more and more harder to view. Absolutely no music now, sobering us right back up as he starts to struggle for his chair. The chair sequence was very close to getting me. I think it almost got me because it's silence and you just hear him really struggling to get into his chair, and it's just the sounds of the wood scraping on the floor as he struggles. And there is no music, and that makes these moments a lot more impactful. And this is my spot where I look the best. He knows he's about to die. He has finally come to terms with the fact that there is no hope. He's no longer trying to be optimistic as we've seen him being. Remember me forever. And then that's when the piano plays. We get the head slightly tilt off to the side, and then our character ends up leaving this mortal coil, and he ends up being free of his suffering. 21 minutes in, and then I cried. I made it 21 minutes, guys. I tried my hardest, but this chair sequence and then him just kind of going, I look good here, and then dying. And I was like, that's it. I'm crying. It's too late. I've gone. The orchestra at this point, the transformation sequence as the wolf, our orb, becomes our boy. It is gorgeous. The strings flourish upwards. It is such a beautiful moment as well. It's now in a major key too. The key has changed. Hope has returned. The sun has now risen. We see a montage of our boy finally being united with his people, his family. We see him pointing out towards a sunrise. He is passing over. He can now be with the people he loves, open heaven, in paradise. And it is a happy end to a sad end at the same time. Death is simply just a beginning. He was a character who was so alone. It's so nice to see him at the end, reunited with people. The drums start to kick in. Kenjiro Tsudas returns to guide us along. And my goodness, I was so happy to hear his voice kick back in. I needed it because at this point, the boy has gone. We haven't got the vocals anymore. Our narrator is needed. Very important that he comes back and guides us along. He tells us about the new form, that conditions have to be met for a new form to be gained. And then we get a last look at our boy smiling in peace in his chair because our new boy, our duplicate boy, has picked him up and put him back in his chair. Absolutely heartbreaking, but I love it. The preview for next week is ominous. We are going to make it south, so there's a positive. We actually get to go south. We meet a new character named March, a little girl, who is going to be sacrificed. Yes! We're in for another exciting episode next week, guys. It's going to be another heavy incoming episode. Make sure you got some tissues. So, my thoughts on To Your Eternity. This is an anime I have been really excited. Seeing it come out and I couldn't speak, I basically forbade myself from even watching it. I essentially say, I will watch it when I can speak and actually get excited and talk to you guys about it. I'm near enough there that I can talk to you guys about it now. The visual storytelling is sublime. It is amazing. The world building, the music that carries us is very important. It was simply almost, apart from when they put in the silences on purpose, it is constant 25 minutes of music. In a plot where there's very little action happening, you need the music, you need the narration. The world is harsh, it's unforgiving. When we finally meet our boy, and the silence is broken. We actually find comfort in the fact that we've got someone we can talk to, we can hear. And it's a bit of comfort in amongst this harsh landscape that we've been dropped into. It helps that the boy is a positive, bouncy character who is always trying to lead us through his optimism in this cold-hearted world. Following him chase his family and friends and finding out that they all died is absolutely heartbreaking because it's this goal that his wish to find them that actually ends up leading to his demise in the end. But then we could probably look at this in a positive way and saying now he can be reunited with them. Now he knows the answer. Now he knows the truth. Now he's no longer alone out in this kind of frozen wasteland waiting to die eventually. But he is finally at peace at the end, which probably gives us a nice little bit of hope at the end. A bit of a smile moment seeing him just finally at peace. His love for Joanne, the wolf, carrying our attachment, it allows us to attach to him very quickly because we see how much that he loves the wolf. He feeds him, he talks to him. He really, truly cares. This is a harsh anime that deals with the story of life. It is not going to be for everyone. I have seen people giving it a 1 because it made them cry. It's that not all stories end in a happy way. Some animes don't need to be happy. Please don't, if you don't like this kind of story, don't give it a 1. This story does not deserve a 1. It is a story of the experiences of life, the ups, the downs. We are the orb. We experience the world, the plot, the building, everything through his eyes, his experiences. The narrator, Kenjiro, my boy. For now, you are Kenjiro. He carries us forward. Hearing him talking as well during the silent moments, it's a comfort. I believe it's quite a nice comfort. It's a familiar constant as well. When he comes back at the end to start talking to us, I found a bit of comfort in it. It's like, oh, he's talking again. I feel a bit better knowing that he's here again. Really is a story that really benefits from having a narrator. Not many stories benefit from having a narrator, and it's not often done. I think it's an absolutely beautiful story. It's a masterpiece, it really is. I can't wait to be heartbroken every week now. 20 episodes, guys. We've got quite a few episodes to sit through. It's fine. 20 episodes of trauma. I can't wait to experience it with you guys. Thank you as well for being understanding. I have a crap voice. I sound a bit gravelly. Maybe I'm trying to do my best Kenjiro Tsudas impression. Oh, Oshimai. I don't know. Something. What's a word that he normally says quite a bit of? I don't know. Tatakai. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to go and rest now, guys. Have a great time. Make sure you are taking care of yourselves. Bye-bye, guys.